When it comes to songwriting, nobody does it better than Carly Simon.
With her signature anthem, You're So Vain, Carly Simon became one of the defining voices of the 1970s. Her songs captured the raw emotional complexities of love, fame, and heartbreak, resonating with a generation. But behind her success lay an undercurrent of personal battles, struggles that spanned decades and profoundly shaped her life in music. From her early years contending with a severe stutter to the painful loss of both of her sisters to cancer in 2022, her journey has been filled with trials that would test anyone's resilience. What most people know about Carly Simon.
In a current biography, you were quoted as saying that you were the unattractive daughter. The obvious question being, if you are, then where can we find your sisters? And let's have a look at them. Although
I can't remember saying that, but
the fact that people would consider you unattractive, and this is going to sound fulsome, of course, is to me like saying that Niagara Falls is not wet.
Carly Simon's name is often synonymous with the soundtrack of the 1970s. With hits like You're So Vain, Anticipation, and Nobody Does It Better, she became a musical icon whose work touched the hearts of millions. Her songs captured everything from the vulnerability of love to the sharp wit of heartbreak, making her an artist whose words could cut deep and soothe the soul. Many fans were captivated not just by her voice, but by the aura of mystery that surrounded her. The ongoing speculation over who You're So Vain was written about, rumors have swirled for decades around names like Warren Beatty, Mick Jagger, and James Taylor, only added to her allure. Beyond the music, Simon became a cultural figure, known for her relationships with other celebrities, including her high-profile marriage to singer-songwriter James Taylor. Together, they became one of the most famous couples of the era, combining their talents and iconic status. But while the public saw Carly Simon as a confident, glamorous artist, there was much more to her story than the music and fame. The early years and neural challenges.
So I sort of thought of myself as being a goof. And as much as I love other goofs, I didn't love myself for it because to me, being a goof meant not having my father's appreciation.
Long before she became a celebrated singer-songwriter, Carly Simon's childhood was marked by struggles that had a profound impact on her self-esteem and future career. At age 6, she began to develop a stutter, a condition that haunted her throughout her adolescence and became one of her earliest and most formidable obstacles. Stuttering often brought Carly immense anxiety, particularly in situations where she had to speak publicly, like answering questions in school. While she knew the answers, her words often betrayed her, leaving her stuck in silence or struggling with the painful repetition of sounds that simply wouldn't come out. This constant battle with her speech made school a source of dread rather than a place for learning or social connection. Her stutter became a dominating force in her childhood, shaping not only how she communicated, but also how she saw herself. The constant fear of embarrassment and ridicule was a heavy burden for such a young girl. Carly often found herself withdrawing socially, avoiding situations where her speech might betray her in front of her peers. Teasing and bullying from other children further exacerbated her feelings of isolation, leaving her with the sense that she was different in a way that set her apart from the older children around her. Stuttering, which is now understood to often have neurological origins rather than being purely psychological, is a condition that affects millions globally. It can leave deep emotional scars, particularly for children who, just like Carly, struggle to understand why their words fail them. In Carly's case, the stutter wasn't just a barrier to communication, it was an emotional challenge that affected her sense of self-worth. Despite being born into an intellectually rich family, her father, Richard Simon, co-founded Simon & Schuster, and her mother, Andrea Simon, was a civil rights activist. Carly often felt like an outsider, isolated by her inability to communicate fluently. Interestingly, her stutter presented difficulties with certain letters, especially H, S, and T. They would trap her into painful repetitions. So she developed a unique coping mechanism. She became a, quote, walking thesaurus, as she later described it. She learned to swap out words she knew she would struggle with for others that were easier to pronounce. This early necessity to play with language later became a key asset in her songwriting career. One of the most transformational figures in her early life was her mother, Andrea. Recognizing that traditional speech therapies were not helping, Andrea sought an unconventional solution. She noticed Carly's stutter disappeared when she sang. She encouraged her daughter to sing as a way of expressing herself, turning speech into melody. The family soon adopted this practice as part of their daily routine, using song to communicate in moments when Carly's stutter made speaking too difficult. Singing requests at the dinner table or bidding goodnight through song became a common practice in the Simon household. For Carly, this discovery was nothing short of life-changing. Singing allowed her to bypass the anxiety and blocks that came with speaking, giving her a newfound sense of freedom and control. Medical research has since confirmed that the neural pathways involved in speech are different from those used in singing, explaining why many people who stutter can sing without issues. For Carly, this early challenge became one of the defining experiences of her life, shaping not only her career as a musician, but also her personal resilience. Chronic pain and mental health challenges. Carly's adult life has been marked by chronic physical and mental health challenges that have often overshadowed her success. Migraines, a condition that affects millions, became a recurring issue throughout her career. For Carly, these migraines often followed periods of intense stress. Her friendship with Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis, while deeply meaningful, often triggered severe migraines as Carly struggled with the pressure of living up to the former First Lady's grace and poise. Migraines are not just headaches, they can be debilitating, causing intense pain, nausea, and sensitivity to light and sound. Carly had to make significant lifestyle adjustments to manage her condition. Alcohol, especially red wine, was one of her biggest triggers, so she stopped drinking it. Sleep became a priority, as did maintaining a balanced diet to avoid potential migraine triggers. Throughout her career, Carly has openly discussed her struggles with depression and anxiety, conditions that often intersect with her physical health issues. In her 60s, she was diagnosed with osteopenia, a condition that decreases bone density and can lead to osteoporosis. As her health concerns compounded, Carly's ability to navigate both her mental and physical well-being became increasingly difficult. Yet, through all this, Carly continued to write, perform, and create, channeling her pain and struggles into her art. Cancer's devastating toll on the Simon family.
Grammy-winning singer is mourning the deaths of her two sisters. 85-year-old Joanna Simon died Wednesday from thyroid cancer, and sister Lucy died just 1 day later at 82 from metastatic breast cancer.
Cancer has been one of the most devastating challenges Carly Simon has faced personally and within her family. In the late 90s, she was diagnosed with breast cancer, a moment that changed her life forever. Initially, doctors recommended a conservative approach, but Carly's instincts told her to seek a second opinion. That proved life-saving, as the second team of doctors recommended a more aggressive treatment plan. She underwent a double mastectomy, followed by reconstructive surgery and chemotherapy. While Carly's battle with breast cancer was harrowing, it was far from the end of cancer's impact on her family. In 2018, her brother Peter died of lung cancer, leaving her heartbroken, but it was the losses of her two sisters in October of 2022 that truly devastated Carly. Joanna Simon, a renowned opera singer, died from thyroid cancer, while Lucy Simon, an accomplished composer, passed away from metastatic breast cancer just 1 day later. The deaths of her sisters within 24 hours of each other left Carly reeling and forced her to miss her own induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Creating through adversity.
I think I could write a song about a caveman in Jamaica. I don't know where.
And they would still think it was.
And people would still say, "Oh, well, that's really about you, isn't it?" I think it's because everybody there really is a kind of common denominator. Everybody sort of feels many things and can identify. So all I do is kind of tap into the universal.
Despite these immense health challenges, Carly has continued to create, using her experiences as fuel for her artistic fire. One of the most notable contributions is the Carly Simon Music Therapy Initiative at Berklee College of Music, a program designed to help others use music as a tool for healing. Drawing from her own experiences overcoming a stutter through song, Simon has become a passionate advocate for the therapeutic power of music. Now it's time to hear from you. What part of Carly's story moves you the most? Let us know in the comments section below.